Hey everyone, my name is Oran Sahir, and you're joining me on Urban Asian. I'm joined by the wonderfully talented and extremely incredible Saswata Chatterjee, who's coming up in his upcoming film Abar Proloy for ZEE5 Global. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hi. Nice talking to you.
Pleasure is all mine. And I think you have a very interesting film and an interesting script coming up. I've seen the trailer, of course. It's got to do with you being a crime branch cop, of course.
Yeah.
What drew you to kind of get into this character, Saswata?
Actually, what happened 10 years back, a film was made where this character, Onimesh Dotto,
Right.
came as a cop after post-interval.
Sure.
And that character was a huge hit. That made them think that we do a series
Okay.
with this character as a central in the
Right.
center.
Right. I think, for quite some time on OTT platforms, Sashwata, we've been seeing a lot of the crime thriller dramas with a lot of cops getting prominence as far as,
Mm.
protagonists are concerned. Recently also some of the most incredible scripts coming out. When you play a character like a cop,
Mm.
and you play a this is a great show, I'm sure. Do you at some level work a bit harder on something which sometimes seems a bit more easier, like say, for example, a cop?
Uh, Harder means I had to work hard because there are a lot of fight sequences in this series.
Sure.
Physically, I had to work very hard.
Right. I can imagine because it is obviously cutthroat, and you kind of are right at the enemy throughout the end of the show, and
Yeah,
every kind of episode has some sort of thriller drama happening.
absolutely.
I want to talk a bit about the process in terms of the scripting and kind of the story of it as well, because I think traditionally speaking, a lot of the crime thriller dramas, whether it's got a cop thriller or a suspense, many a times I think OTT platforms have always been known to kind of actually have a bit of an abrupt ending. And I'm not asking you to reveal the story. However, do you kind of do you kind of see the intensity of a story which actually doesn't kind of have a happy ending and more of an abrupt ending? What is your take on that as an actor, as an artist?
I always like, you know, at the end of the day, we should please the audience.
Right.
That's my way of thinking.
Sure.
Because I, as an audience, I don't want to get out of a theater disappointed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So why should I disappoint an audience? The
True.
audience.
Yeah. No, I think that's a very valid point, and I have to bring up because I've just finished watching The Night Manager a few weeks back.
Okay.
You were exceptional as Bridge, and I fell in love with the character. And it's almost unique to talk to somebody who has done a wealth of work, whether it was in Dil Bechara, whether it was Kahani, and of course now it is in Abar Proloy. When you basically you did mention it at the very start, and you kind of touched upon it. It has to be something very unique and very different. As an actor, and your career as a craft as an actor, what are some of the challenges you've seen? And I think, are you very conscious in terms of the kind of script you choose at every different stage of your life?
Absolutely. I do believe the hero of a series or a film is the script mainly.
Very true.
If it's good, then
Yeah.
you are through halfway.
Yeah.
Then you are there to perform.
Correct. Now, Saswata, tell me a little bit about tell me a little bit about the process that you worked along with the director and the writer of this film, because it is a very intense script.
Actually, I have done this character. I told you previously, I had done
Correct.
this character 10 years back. So
Sure.
I didn't have to work hard to get into the character. I knew the
Sure.
character.
Yeah.
And then we had a script reading session, a long one. You can very well understand a series of 10 episodes.
Sure.
How long was the script
Yeah.
reading session?
True.
So,
True.
and it's very thrilling, and it has a very good speed. It doesn't drag anywhere.
Correct.
That's the USP of this series.
Correct. Well, I think at the same time, I also believe that, and you rightly mentioned, not about dragging, and I think kind of staying the way it is. I think one of the biggest challenges nowadays, storytellers and I think directors are facing is to basically make a show which is just as gripping towards the end and actually have something which is unique throughout the show. Uh,
Absolutely.
and I think as a consumer of OTT digital platforms and as somebody who's been an avid film buff, comparing sometimes, because the format in a large cinema is essentially a beginning, a middle, and end with an intermission.
Mm.
In OTT, we don't have a popcorn break, we don't have a Coke break, we don't have,
No.
is unique. What are some of the parallels as an actor that you draw as far as cinema and I think content on digital platforms like Netflix, like Amazon, like Hotstar, and of course ZEE5 Global?
Uh, I didn't get you.
No,
What
what
you
are some of the parallels in terms of how stories are made in terms of on digital platforms and cinema? As an actor, I think what's your take on that, and how is that evolution really sort of taking place?
Actually, it's a continuous process. When
Correct.
first these streaming platforms came, so we needed to make a long, very long film in parts and show them in parts. It's not exactly like a serial, and it's neither a film. So it's very difficult for the maker or the makers to hold the audiences throughout the series, because there are too many distractions around. It's not a
Correct.
theater hall, you
Right.
know. Uh, Phones ringing, bells ringing, people coming in, going out,
Yeah. Yeah.
and in that way, it's very difficult.
Correct.
So your script of each episode should be very tight,
True.
and this is the case here.
Very true.
Yeah.
Well, of course, it's releasing very, very shortly, and we can't wait to watch the show. But what is the one takeaway the audience should have when they watch Abar Proloy?
It's a complete package. It's not
Yeah.
only a thriller. You have fight sequences, song sequences, very good. Two songs are very nice.
Correct.
And there is love angles. It's just a complete package. And it's the only USP is entertainment, entertainment, and entertainment. That's it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And I think that is really well put. So wonderful talking to you, Saswata. Tell me what's next on the cards as far as your work is coming up. Anything after the show, or are you kind of taking a break? What's happening as far
Yeah,
as
I'm going to take a break and go for a long holiday. Pujas are
you
coming in
deserve it.
Kolkata. Durga
But
Pujas
please
are
don't
coming.
stop acting, because as long as you're there, we will
No,
be
no,
there
no, no,
to
no.
consume it.
I'll only act and go on vacations.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, wonderful talking to you. Thank you so much for joining me on Urban Asian,
Thank
and it
you,
was a
thank you,
pleasure
thank
having
you,
you with me. Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
Cheers. God bless.